Welcome to Daily Gossip. You will get daily Hollywood updates here, so remember to subscribe for the latest videos. When Jenna Ortega, the breakout star of her generation, released a stunning series of new photos that instantly broke the internet, it wasn't just the glamour, allure, or magnetic camera presence that had everyone talking. It was the unapologetic confidence and empowering message behind every image that left audiences stunned. At just 22 years old, Jenna has proven herself not only as a fierce actress, but also as a trend-setting icon who is changing the way the world sees youth, beauty, power, and visibility. In these photos, Jenna wasn't merely posing. She was reclaiming space in an industry that's constantly trying to fit young women into boxes far too small to contain their brilliance. Wearing bold couture that accentuated every curve, every contour, every unapologetic detail of her evolving image, Jenna stood tall, fierce, and gloriously herself. The conversation quickly shifted from fashion statement to full-blown cultural reckoning as fans flooded social media, applauding Jenna for embracing what many referred to as her huge size, not as something to hide, diminish, or explain, but as something to elevate and celebrate. This was not just a moment of aesthetic brilliance. This was a revolution, one triggered by a woman who knows her worth and isn't afraid to show it. The drama behind the shoot was as gripping as the final product. Set in a moody, luxuriously lit space that contrasted deep shadows with piercing highlights, Jenna's every movement felt deliberate, like each click of the shutter captured a new declaration of freedom. These weren't the polished PR portraits we're used to from rising stars. They were raw, real, explosive. In some frames, her eyes pierced the lens with unwavering confidence. In others, she exhaled a serene power that needed no explanation. Designers and stylists quickly confirmed that the outfits she wore were custom creations meant to magnify, not minimize, her natural shape. From the corseted bodices to the dramatic trains, everything was crafted to honor the fullness of her form, proving that elegance doesn't come from hiding who you are. It comes from revealing it without fear. Critics who had previously questioned her sudden leap from Netflix stardom to global influence were silenced. There was no more denying that Jenna Ortega had arrived, not just as an actress, but as a generational symbol of self-acceptance. The word huge took on an entirely new meaning. It no longer meant too much, too loud, or too far outside the mold. It meant unstoppable. It meant undeniable. It meant Jenna. This moment, frozen in high-definition clarity, will be studied for years, not just for its visual impact, but for its cultural shift. Because with these images, Jenna Ortega didn't just show off her size. She showed the world how powerful it is to be young, bold, and completely unafraid. And as the waves of awe, admiration, and absolute fascination swept across social media platforms, fan forums, fashion magazines, and entertainment columns alike, it became crystal clear that this wasn't just another celebrity moment. It was a declaration. Jenna Ortega, only 22 and already a Hollywood heavyweight, had turned what some would call a daring photo shoot into a universally celebrated act of self-ownership, body positivity, and generational pride. With each image that emerged, whether she was draped in velvet, bathed in moonlight, or standing unshaken in sculpted satin, there was a palpable sense of reclamation, a reclaiming of her narrative, her strength, her body, and her enormous influence. Fans who had followed her journey from Disney Channel beginnings to her moody Wednesday Addams transformation now witnessed something even more profound. A young woman shedding the confines of expectations, defying the whispers of gossip tabloids, and standing defiantly in her full, flourishing form. Those who once labeled her as too petite or just another child star were now confronted with an image that defied all categorization. In these photos, Jenna wasn't just showing her body, she was revealing her evolution. The once cautious starlet was now standing at the apex of her power, adorned in couture and bathed in admiration, unapologetically showcasing her huge size, not in terms of inches or measurements, but in magnitude, presence, and impact. Fashion critics found themselves rewriting the rules. Editors who traditionally framed daring female celebrity shoots with condescension or skepticism instead framed Jenna's shoot as revolutionary. Designers spoke publicly about how working with Jenna on these pieces changed how they approach structure, fluidity, and body celebrating silhouettes. Social media turned into a gallery of interpretations, artists sketching her poses, fans recreating her look with pride, and influencers delivering emotionally charged breakdowns of what it meant to see someone so young, so publicly scrutinized, embrace the fullness of her being. In interviews, Jenna remained poised yet deeply emotional, often referencing how long she struggled with comparisons, criticism, and the fear of being too visible in a culture that constantly critiques the bodies of women. But she shared how, for the first time in her life, she no longer felt like she had to hide parts of herself to be loved or accepted. The huge size everyone was commenting on wasn't a critique, it was an evolution. Her body, her influence, her voice, her energy, they had all grown with her. And she was done shrinking. This photo shoot, according to stylists close to the production, was Jenna's own vision from beginning to end. She wanted to feel free. She wanted to feel fierce. She wanted to show the world what it really looks like when a young woman embraces everything she's become. And the world responded, with tears, applause, admiration, and a renewed understanding that beauty, power, and authenticity do not exist in silence. They demand the spotlight. Jenna Ortega didn't just show off her size. She redefined what it means to grow into yourself, and in doing so, she didn't just take up space, she owned it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Daily Gossip for more celebrity stories, Hollywood updates, and inspiring journeys every day.